Janelle and this is toDIYfor. So this is my second Halloween costume tutorial for the year. I did Bo Peep from Toy Story 4 last week. I will leave that linked for you to check out. And if you're a fan of Stranger Things, you know exactly who I am. I'm Robin. She's a new character who joined the show for their third season that was released a couple of months ago. Great show, great season. Absolutely loved her character, so I thought I'd recreate her for my Halloween costume. And you could totally do this as a couple's costume because you could also just make this exact same costume for Steve, who also works at the ice cream parlor or shop with her. So let's get into the DIY. So head to the thrift store. You're gonna look for a blue and white striped t-shirt, hopefully one that has a little bit longer sleeves than I do to replicate her costume perfectly, but you're also going to need to get some long blue shorts. Now I lucked out because hers are extra long shorts. What you might need to do is get loose baggy pants and trim them into shorts. You're also going to need a t-shirt that is navy blue, matching hopefully your pants or shorts. All of this cost me $3.50 a piece, so we're already only just at about $10 right now. So to finish off our shorts, she has a couple of white stripes along the bottom. I'm using some stretchy elastic that I picked up at the dollar store for about $1.25. And the reason I'm using this is just because it's a crisp line. I don't have to paint it. You could probably use some white ribbon as well. You do not want to stretch this while you are hot gluing it in place, but glue 2 bands around each of your legs. We are again going to use some elastic band here to create some fake pockets because these shorts do not have pockets. We're going to create that with this band here. And this is just a slightly thicker elastic band that I'm working with, and we're going to glue it into place kind of like this. So it's really easy to do. And then the last thing you need to do for the shorts is put on a couple of gold buttons that she has. So I'm just using my metallic gold spray paint here with a few buttons that I again picked up at the dollar store. You spray paint them and then you glue 3 in place right on that white band on each side. So moving on, I have some white felt here that I picked up at the dollar store for a couple of bucks. I think this is from the Christmas section and it's like a tree stand cover. But what you want to do is cut that into a large square and then cut out a centerpiece like I've done here. This essentially is like the bib that you're going to be wearing. I'm going to fold in these pieces here and hot glue them to make them a little narrower and a little stiffer as well. So to finish this off, what you need to do is have a red band around the outside. And again, to just have some clean lines instead of painting this on, I chose to use some red electrical tape and I cut that in half to make it thinner and replicate this better. And I just glued that in, or I just stuck that in place all the way around this little bib that we're making. Next, you need to make a red tie. I used some red felt for this, trimmed off the edges to make them little points on either end. You tie it in a knot, and then you're basically just going to hot glue this to that white bib that we just created, just like I've done here. And this will just actually go over top of your head when you're putting your costume together. Some other felt that I used was to create the little ice cream cone that is on her vest, but also the name tag Robin. So just some red felt here, cut out with a white piece of paper. I drew Robin on with a Sharpie and I just glued that into place. So next I'm making her hat with some poster board. So again, this is like $1, cut a long strip that's a couple inches wide, and you're just going to glue that together. But before you glue it together, you will want to write the word ahoy on it. So I freehanded this just by looking at the photo, and then I filled it in with some blue acrylic paint to replicate the hat that she had. Then you glue it together and you'll be able to plop that on your head, measure it for your own head. So next we're moving on to the vest, and I'm just making that simply by taking this navy blue t-shirt, cutting off both sleeves and cutting it straight down the center. I did have to trim off a little bit from the bottom to make it a bit of a shorter vest to replicate hers. I have terrible scissors right now, so I need to get some new fabric scissors. But if you just pull that fabric, you'll be able to kind of hide those ugly seams. I simply just glued those two on with some hot glue while I was wearing it, so I had the right placement. And you're just going to throw your costume on and pair it with some knee-high white socks, which unfortunately I didn't have, but you get the idea. So how do you think I did with recreating this costume? If you're gonna do it yourself, I would highly suggest getting on it, because sometimes it is a little tricky to find exactly what you're looking for at the thrift store. Might take a couple of tries or a couple of different thrift stores. But I mean, the thrift store and the dollar store are going to be your best friend with recreating these costumes and making them for so much cheaper than the bagged option. So let me know how you enjoy this DIY. Give the video a like, and if you recreate it yourself, please send me some photos on Instagram and on Twitter. You can follow me at Janelle Steeper. Tag me in anything you make, because I want to see what you're making. And if you're looking for other ideas for Halloween or inspiration, I will leave all the other costume tutorials that I've done on my channel, which there's quite a few, up above or down below in the description box for you. Cheers, and don't forget to subscribe. I will be back next Wednesday with a new video. Cheers.